Happy Monday, happy week, happy October, everybody. It's October 2022. Just like that. It's crazy. This year has gone by quickly. It's very weird. I love October. Love this time of year. Weather's mild. It's good. But it feels weird for us to be this far along in the year at this point. But it's great. So I want to catch up with chat real quick. We'll get right into some things and stuff. I see Bjorn Jorgensen, Boba Hicks, Epic Badger, Kieran Ball accusing me of never making a short video. I've made short videos, but they're not that long. Yeah. And we also have Mr. Joseph Dickerson. Happy to be here. Happy to see you. Making another live stream. Things have been crazy the last few weeks. So I hope you're all right, sir. It's good to hear from you. Jason Garcia is well in the house. Bill Wifta is here. Check him out on YouTube if you haven't already. I see Steven S. has finally caught the beginning. Well, there you go. Now you know. Half the battle. G.I. Joe, red and blue lasers. Johnny Sorensen is here. Says, grind fam. Ho! That's right. I see Ben Stutley. I see Gotron who says, I'm at work and I can't stay. Have a lovely evening. Have a package from Mexico to open when I get home. That's right. That is our very first piece of news. The Resurrection Toys Wave 1 orders that went out. We got confirmation today that everything in the U.S., as far as I can see, has been delivered. We have some outliers overseas that are still on their way, but everything seems to be working just daggum fine. Appreciate you. Bjorn asked if his package got there. I don't know. If you give me the tracking, I can check it against the emails I've gotten from my box. Haven't been there yet, and there's a reason, part of why I haven't been there. I was supposed to go today. We had a 4-hour power outage due to an exploded transformer today. Also had my internet out, and gonna be honest, because I didn't know when it was going to come back up. I had some work I needed to get done, and I didn't want to be out and about when that happened. So I almost had to cancel. So it only came back up about an hour ago, but things seem to be working okay. I hope things look and sound okay to you. Epic Badger asked, which transformer exploded? I didn't see him at the time, but the squealing made it sound like Starscream. That's what I think happened. Jason Garcia says, gonna order some Resurrection Toys. Got some extra cash this Friday. That's good to hear, brother. If you need anything, let me know. We have a contact form up on the site to make it easier for people to get a hold of us directly rather than trying to use social media or private messages and stuff like that. So if you need it, use it, please. Thank you. Thank you. I just said it was Starscream as far as I could tell. But in all seriousness, it actually, I could hear the explosion, and it shook the building. It was like, boom! It was pretty bad. So it was right around here, and the whole building lost power except for a few rooms. And so, yeah, image is a bit blurry. that would make sense under the circumstances, but I appreciate you letting me know. And Bjorn, thanks for that tracking number. I will check it out. I'm pretty sure it's there by now, but I'll need to get by the box this week for sure because I have other things to pick up as well. Jim Largo says greetings and hallucinations, felicitations, felicities, and salutations to you too, sir. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Treasures for Triggers here. Hello, and says hi all. Had you at exploding Transformers? Fair enough. You're feeling blurry in real life? Don't blame you. Don't blame you. Will McLaughlin is here. Wilhelm Toy and Hobby in disguise. Guys, there's some cool content coming on his channel. If you haven't already subscribed, so please do that. Please do that. So yeah, that's the big stuff with me. Is that one, the electricity was out for a bunch of hours, and I didn't think I was going to make the show, but we're okay now. Two, that the Resurrection Toys Wave 1, as far as we can tell, everyone's gotten their stuff, which is a pretty cool thing to see. In as much as when you're shipping internationally, even if it's the next country over, it can take time. And when one considers that it was 1 week from the time they picked it up to the time that you're getting it in the US, it's not too bad. There are a lot of packages that get shipped to me from the US that take longer than that. So I'm pretty darn happy with the service. And for those of you that do have packages that are there, please let me know how those are working out. Make sure they arrive not dinged up and all these things. But we're very confident in the service that we're getting as well. I did see Rollo in the chat here earlier. And I see Andy as well. I think I accidentally skimmed over there. And I see Daniel Carhoonen. Nice to see you. Now, I realize the images might be blurry, and I apologize in advance for that. So I'm going to go through the news. I'm sorry if it's blurry. I'm going to do my very, very best to avoid that. But just bear with me, okay? There's only so much I can do about the internet. It looks like it might be clearing up, but if it does go blurry, it's me, it's not you. So in any case, first thing I want to talk about is actually this McFarlane Batmo Beast. Now, this came across my feed last week, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I assumed it was a multiverse 7-inch vehicle. So for $50, I said, oh, that's cool. There's another version of this that's in a slightly different paint deco that you can get for $50 on Amazon. So I want to show that to you as well. So they have the Walmart one, which includes a figure, which most of you probably won't care. But the vehicle is slightly different from what I can see, okay? But it is technically cheaper than this Amazon one, which, again, it's a slightly lighter gray, and the vehicle, like the air blower, is on top of this like kind of outer shell that they've painted kind of cheesily, frankly. But it's there, and it's kind of cool, and it's scaled for 7-inch, so it should fit 112 pretty good. So, and Kieran Ball says, I seriously doubt Batman will fit in that vehicle. They're saying that it does. Now, that's a 7-inch scale, and if you're not using a 7-inch figure, I think you should be okay. If you look at this picture here, it does make sense scale-wise that he would fit in there to some degree. Jim Largo, with the news, says, same vehicle, one has an outer shell, the other has a figure. Fair enough. So depending upon which one you want, you can go with that. But it's a cool enough vehicle. Certainly would look cool with G.I. Joe Classifieds or Action Force, or even if you wanted to give the Punisher a dune buggy, This is something that's out there, and the price is not bad at all for what you get. So I wanted to call that to everyone's attention because I didn't know it was there until I saw the tweet. So I just want to kind of let you guys in on that. It's the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batmo Beast. Batmo Beast. So Stephen S. says, has the Malbolgia, the tear that is open for that vehicle? I don't know. But does it come with flaming wheels? No, it does not. It does not come with flaming wheels or fan disappointment to my knowledge. But it is kind of cool. So I just want to bring that up because it was something I saw. I thought, that's kind of neat. Now, getting right into some of the, let's get into some of the suck. I'm trying to spread it out, guys, but let's just get right to it. So they have some Mephisto prototype paintings up, which means he's 100% confirmed, and he looks pretty goddamn good. But we're not going to get him unless you get him with that stupid ass Ghost Rider. You guys know how I feel about the HasLab in general, but Hasbrab for Hasrab. Wow, HasLab for Ghost Rider. Not happy with it. I think that this figure should see wide release. It's not. And Master Son, welcome to the show. One of my patrons, great guy, says, just came in to say hello. I'm on a plane heading to Vietnam for work. Well, have a safe flight. And hopefully we'll see you again soon. Glad to see you. Love your face, brother. Epic Badger asks if Mephisto comes with a guitar to compete with Tenacious D. He does not. He does not. He does not. So, again, I hate seeing that, but I also like seeing it because it's a real thing. Now, something that does not suck, in my opinion, has Grab. There you go. Fair enough, Chad. I got you. But things that don't really suck. We're getting some high res photography for the Road Ripper Mecha Neck 2-pack, which I question why it's a 2-pack. These should be separate, but that's okay. If we get them for around $29, that's not a bad price for the two of them put together. I would have preferred to get the Ground Ripper. Pardon me, they've named it Ground Ripper for no reason at all. But at the same time, I would like to be able to get those separately because I wouldn't mind getting a fleet of those. Now, one thing they do show with the parts that are included, looks like there's an alternate face for the front that's more generic or evil, if you will. Okay, depending upon which one you want. And Mechaneck himself comes with a club, and you can see his neck is a separate piece you have to attach. So there's no action feature, which I'm on the fence. Like, would I love to have the action feature? Yes. Do I think it's way cooler that I have a piece that I can make a Mecha Neck style thing out of any character I want? Yeah, I do. So for me, just this extension piece here for the heads, it's just kind of a neat thing to do. It'd be fun to give, like, your different spout would have a longer neck. It would just be kind of weird. Stephen S. says it would get confused with the Wallet Ripper from Hasbro. You're not wrong. Joe Dickerson says, boo, that's Mattel being cheap. I agree that it is a move to make things less expensive. But one of the things I've seen him talk about, and I suppose I can understand the discussion being had, is that they're like, do we want to make a feature out of the different parts, or do we want to make an action feature that's exclusive to that figure? So when you're looking at the ability to exchange parts, I appreciate this. So I think it depends upon, what you're looking for with it. Now, again, my instinct, he should just have the action feature, and that's that. I agree. Be a deluxe figure, put some cool stuff with him. I think that would be cool. But in the absence of the action feature, I think having the option with the parts is a nice trade-off. That's me personally. But if anyone wants the action feature and doesn't buy it because he doesn't have it, I don't blame you. It makes perfect sense to me. The Ground Ripper, if you will, looks great. I'm now where I will say it's absolutely a cheap out. There's no pull cord that I can see to actually get the thing moving. It's just a push toy, which that doesn't make any sense to me. How much does it cost to put 2 gears inside there? That's dumb. I'm going to buy this because I want both of these things. But I can tell you right now, if the price is not decent, like, there are a lot of people that won't buy this because it is missing action features depending upon how you look at it. Rolo says he's going to pass on that for the same reason he didn't buy Fisto. And Bill says he's going to skip that as well. Right there, two of the biggest Motu fans in chat are like, nah, I don't want it. I'll buy it, but that's because me. Bill Wifta says they changed the name because apparently they lost the trademark to Ripper to another toy. Oh, Okay. All right. Makes sense. Fair enough. And even Melvor, one of the kindest and gentlest people I've ever met in my life, says it's unacceptable not to have a pull cord feature. And yeah. And Rolo with a good point. It costs like 50 pesos to make that Road Ripper run. $2 US. I agree. And I would pay that $2, frankly. And there was never any discernible way to steer it either. Correct. But that's part of the fun of that toy, to me. No one says, I'll eventually get one once it goes to clearance. And that's kind of the thing. I agree with all of you in that a lot of people will just not want this. Because Worldwide Corporate's like, I want the action feature as well. I want a toy versus a showpiece. I totally get that. I totally get it. I'm happy to see the pictures. I'm happy that this exists. Not happy in the form, and the price had better damn reflect it, in my opinion. So, well, of course, Bjorn's Walmart's going to get a ton of these. And yes, you can get a vintage Road Ripper at decent prices. It's not an expensive toy. The hard part's finding a ripcord that'll work with it, but even that's not that difficult if you know where to look. The seat belts are rough, but you can make those pretty easy with some rubber. So there's definitely things to do. Giraffe says, excited. I need like 40 of these to give extended necks to all my figures. Giraffe minions for the win. See, I knew someone would like it. Exactly, Ted. The engineering's already been done, so what's the big deal? I agree. And with it being so close to the original, I don't understand why they wouldn't do that. Joe Dickerson says, I'm so glad I don't collect Motu. I appreciate the line. I just never had it as a kid. Was never really into it. And Treasure for Trigger says neither the vehicle or the figure or fan favorites. They're kind of ancillary. There's no question about that. And Bill says, I won't say what might happen if I see one on the shelf in a store. Of course. Exactly. But this is not something that anyone is going to pay eBay prices for. They're just not. This is one of those vehicles like Stridor that you either want one or you don't. And you're going to see more of these on the shelves than not, I think. And I think a lot of that comes down to if you're going to put a character in with Road Ripper, does Mechanic make sense? I don't think so. And two, not having the mechanisms in either, it's like, I don't get that. Steven says, is whatever the hell Ripper the same mold as the Road Ripper original? It looks like it is, but I don't think that it is. Just for the simple fact that, generally speaking, they have made the vehicles slightly bigger than the originals. Now, with the Ripper, I don't think you need to do that, but I don't know for sure. I haven't heard anything about that. To be fair, and Bill being honest and saying he's not a Mechanic fan either. I liked Mechanic. I thought it was a cool feature. I liked Plastic Man too. Go figure, right? But speaking of something that, generally speaking, I think most people might be a fan of, Rolo. But instead of getting the Road Ripper, we should get a club stripper, pay more to see less. Strippers. All right. At any rate, so something that, and again, depending upon how you view this might be a good thing or a bad thing. All right. But I have to say I'm kind of impressed. Hasbro did reveal the 6-inch adventure series for Indiana Jones this weekend. They're starting with Raiders of the Lost Ark, and they have Indiana Jones, Marion Ravenwood, they have Tote and Belloc and Sala right up front. And they're looking pretty good. They're looking pretty darn good. Like, Indiana Jones actually looks like Indiana Jones. There's a lack of double joints, which some people have commented on, but then again, I don't expect Indiana Jones figures to do acrobatic poses to begin with, so I don't think it's a huge loss. They are retailing for $24.99, so they're right on par with Marvel Legends' former price and G.I. Joe Classified's former price. So they're doing this, I feel, if they're going to do a 6-inch Hasbro line of Indiana Jones, this is a good way to start. And if you collect the whole first wave, like Kieran Ball is saying, you can build out the arc, which is great. He comes with an idol, just to show him in the flesh. definitely not a bad looking figure, in my opinion. There are only 2 figures available at the moment, but even those are pre-orders. It's Indy and Tote. Of course, I pre-ordered both because, one, I want the whole wave because I want that arc, and also I'm interested in all the characters genuinely. I don't think there's a dud in the bunch, and we're getting to that, Nolan. Shh, we're getting to that. Uh, Steven says, "You mean you can't pose him like Spider-Man? I'm out." But ultimately, there is probably nitpicks to be had with the accuracy of his outfit, and I'll leave that to people that know about that sort of thing. But to me, as a fan, I really enjoy how this character looks. I think the line is a good way to start, and I hope that we get to continue to see characters. They're looking to do multiple waves, and they're going to cover all of the Indiana Jones properties, which means I can thankfully skip the Crystal Skull completely, and I will, of course, get Temple of Doom and Last Crusade for 100%. 100%. There are Nazis in the wave. They just don't have big armbands that announce them as Nazis, which I think it's stupid, but I understand why. It's a stupid fucking reason, but I understand it. Bjorn's going to get a few of the tote, got some custom ideas. I don't blame you. It's pretty good. What stickers are we talking about, Ted? What stickers are we talking about? Because I don't know. I don't understand. Joe Dickerson says the line looks really good, but you're boycotting Hasbro product on principle, and the only way I'd buy it if the price point was $20. At that price, you'd buy every figure. Fair enough. Steven wants a Mola Ram with heart-ripping action. Totally get that. Roar right back at you, Spencer. Right, roar right back at you. Nolan says his melting face is awesome for Tote. That is correct. I think that's great. And overall, again, I think that this is good, but I can't blame anyone for not wanting to buy Hasbro stuff at this point. Okay, I really can't, because they're making a lot of boneheaded moves lately. Now, I will say that from a sculpting perspective, they're stepping up their game with Indiana Jones. They appear to be doing things that make sense, but this is one line out of how many they have, right? So this one thing does not, it's not going to save the entire Hasbro brand. It just won't. It just won't. But here is Tote, looking pretty regal. Again, no armband. He does have his pin, but it's a solid pin rather than showing the SS symbol. Kind of lame, in my opinion. But as a sculpt, I think it's really good. I think it's a good figure. And the reason I would want a Tote is because when I was in a heavy metal band that did like all of our lyrics until we got to the second EP were literally about Indiana Jones. And all the people in the band took stage names inspired by the characters in the film. And my stage name was Tote the Second. And that was, so I have to have one. So Michael Corsini Art says these are just upscales from the 2008 line right down to the accessories. I agree with you to a point. The face sculpts are definitely different because I've seen the face sculpts on the old ones and they look like shit compared to these. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just took these in a 3D printer, upscaled the stuff from the 2008 line, and then put new head sculpts on. But I can tell you that the head sculpts are new. But I understand. So Epic Badger says, for all the new arrivals in chat, don't forget to search for that long lost like button and give it a click or a whip crack. Will McLaughlin said they should have done the melting head as part of a set of candles. I would buy that in a heartbeat, dude. In a heartbeat. Bjorn says that he would have liked to see a vintage collection style Indiana Jones figures. I agree. I think that would have been better than going with the retro collection stuff that they're doing. But it's it's whatever. Missed opportunity to be Big Sala. Yeah, well, I mean, he's there. Looking pretty spiffy. But what else we have here? Marianne, here we go. I think the Marianne figure, definitely one of the best in terms of just like, you can tell it's a unique sculpt because comparative to other Hasbro female figures in the line. Okay. Um, I like it. I'm glad that she's just there right away. But, you know, and I understand, like, a lot of you are like, I don't want another line. Joe Dickinson says the plastic staff of raw headpiece prop also looks cool, but you can pay more than $30 more and get a quality replica made from metal on Etsy. That's why I'm not going to get that damn thing, and I wasn't even going to bring it up, to be honest with you, because it's like, I don't care. But I like that they're making it. It's going to be cool for those guys, you know, those passive collectors that just want to put something on their desk. Like, it's cool that it exists for them, but definitely not something that the average person, the average collector, is probably going to go after. I think the people that are cosplayers, that are really serious about cosplay, every time Hasbro brings up cosplay, they probably laugh their fucking asses off because it's like, no one cares about your thing. Generally. Well, the whole line hasn't been revealed yet. I'm sure we'll get a Marcus for Last Crusade though. Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Logo says, I'm burnt out on pre-order shenanigans. If it ain't going to be in the toy aisle, I'm not sure if I care anymore. That is something I understand. Absolutely. Bjorn's going to make his Indiana Jones Han Solo mashup. I'm worried what that will look like. Epic Badger asks if we'll get a William Hootkins figure or a custom Red 6 Porkins potential. Possibly. Possibly. Top men. I get where you're going with this. 100%. I get it. Wrong toy line, Johnny. You got to save these jokes for when they actually release Crystal Skull toys. Sometimes you gotta save the punchline, bro. But I see where you're going with this. I was there for the stream. I did at no point heard any number related to the number of figures that will be in the series. All they said is they hadn't announced everything yet. So I don't know. And I don't want to say, oh, I heard this. All I know is that they have these figures coming out for Raiders of the Lost Ark, and they have one retro collection figure of Indy, which I'm about to show here in a moment, which I think is a good get. I think it's a smart move. Now, unlike Mattel's Mechaneck and Road Ripper, this guy has his action feature. So the packaging looks spot on to the original, with some obvious caveats because they don't want it to be absolutely exactly the same for obvious reasons. But the Indiana Jones Retro Collection figure, he has his action. His little springy arm thing, it's there. It would have been easy to skimp on that. I personally don't give a crap about that sort of a thing. I don't like action features most of the time, but it's accurate to the original figure and I like it. Now, how accurate this is compared to the original, I don't know. I haven't seen an Indiana Jones Kenner figure in the flesh for over 30 years, and I'm not an expert. So I'll leave it to the experts to tell me how close this is. But from my recollection, which is, fuzzy, I think this is pretty darn good. And even if it's not a perfect one-to-one, it's a great looking figure. And I'm definitely getting one of these. Because I am a big Indiana Jones fan. That was one of the things I dressed up at Halloween a lot. Darth Vader, Indiana Jones, and the Terminator. Those were my big Halloween costumes that got more than 1 year growing up. I was the Flash for 1 year, but the costume we made tore apart by the end of the night because pavement. But Bill Wifta says it looks pretty close to him. I'll trust his judgment for sure. Stephen S. says, okay, then, are they going to make the Flying Wing a HasLab with Marcus as a tier with a German mechanic? I mean, please don't give them ideas. Ted Mullen says, I wish Marion was in her first outfit from the bar, something new instead of the streets of Cairo or Belloc in his suit. I definitely understand, and I'd like to see all of it, frankly. I want to see every character in all their different outfits for the 6-inch line. But I know I'm not going to get that. So I do think Marion needs to have at least the dress, and I would love to see that original outfit in Nepal. I think it's her best outfit in the whole film. But I don't know. We'll see. All right, so we got that. What's next here? I got something here. I have a little bit of Star Wars. I'm not super. I wasn't super impressed by most of the Star Wars reveals because first of all, I'm not a huge Star Wars collector to begin with. I like what I like, and I'm slowly building up that collection. In fact, I got 4 Bespin guards, vintage collection Bespin guards, just got to my box this week, today, in fact. So I'm really stoked for that. But I'll show you what I liked. So this Biker Scout, it's a reissue on a single card. I like that. I like the discoloration on the boots, makes sense. And, it's a Black Series Biker Scout. What do you want? So it's Black Series Biker Scout. I like it. It's simple. It works. There's other figures that probably would have made more sense, but I don't have a Biker Scout, so for me, it works. Now, we just looked at a Harrison Ford face that looks really good. I don't. Is it just me, or does this particular picture of this particular Han Solo has a particular Harrison Ford face to kind of look to you like like he's got Spock eyebrows? It's a little weird. The rest of the figure looks good. The soft goods jacket, I love. The underneath looks good, and most of the head sculpt looks fine. If you take away the eyebrows, the face sculpt looks fine, but it's just weird with the eyebrows. I don't know. I don't understand. Epic Badger is asking us if we can just get a shout out for Karen Allen because Marion's such a beloved part of the franchise. Of course we can. Karen Allen's freaking amazing and probably one of my first crushes as a kid. Love that character and love that actor. She's very good. So, all good. All good. Steven is waiting for Robin Hood Prince of Thieves retro carded 6-inch figures. I think you've been waiting for a while for multiple reasons. And I would say likeness rights, but they didn't even use the likenesses for the original line, so I think we're okay there. I saw a few of you shouting this out in chat. I was equally excited for Wicket. I could give less of a shit about an Ewok figure, to be perfectly honest, but I'm excited for people that do want Ewoks that they're getting Wicket, finally. Now, I'm also going to cynically buy one of these, because I am bitter that I'm having a hard time finding an R2-D2 at retail price in the Black Series line. I keep waiting for them to announce him coming out for one of the anniversaries. They haven't done it yet, at least not recently, to where I'm not paying double for the damn thing. So I'm going to grab this Wicket, at least one of them. I'm going to hang on to them. When that price starts going up, I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to undercut the damn resellers to give someone a good deal when they need it. So I'm cynically going to do something nice. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm doing it because. Ted Millett says, I'm just about done with Star Wars. Got like 600 figures, and they are just so expensive now. Exactly. That's why I'm sticking with Vintage Collection and Power of the Force stuff for the most part. Joe Dickerson met Karen Allen just after Crystal Skull came out, and she was adorable. That's awesome. That is a cool story, which you might have to tell us sometime, sir. I love that. Epic Badger says the pipeline is holding on to the Rebel Endor Trooper, probably another year or two. Yes, that's true. Barely says the Ewok looks cute. Melvor with some Ewok support. Jim Largo asking the real questions: do Ewoks taste like pork or chicken? No, they taste like Gorn. Stephen says, you have a nice, polite mean streak. I mean, kinda, yeah, a little bit. Several people coming up with different answers to what Ewoks taste like, but I like Epic Badger's answer. It says gamey. They eat lots of berries, fish, and meat and vegetation. It's accurate. And they might taste like venison as well. Totally possible, 100%. But I'm very glad for the people that collect Black Series very religiously, that do like Ewoks, they can get this. Now, more suck. You guys ready for more suck? Here comes some more suck. Serpentor. Serpentor. And I agree that Ewoks do taste like failure, Carl. I do. Zazul is here. Sergeant Slaughterhouse. If you're not subscribed to him, go there. Same with Gojatron. Get a subscription to those guys. Now, let's get back to the suck. That's what she said. You're not wrong, mate. You're not wrong. I really like the sculpt on all of this. I think the figure looks good. I think the packaging looks good. I think all the action features look good. What I don't like is the price of this motherfucker. $80. And he's a Pulse exclusive. What? Why? I'll tell you why. Chances are what they're going to do is they're going to wait a year, and when they have a character slot that they have a drought for, they'll release Serpentor as a figure without the damn glider and call it good. So they don't have to worry about having whatever his glider's called sitting around on shelves for some reason. That's what it, yeah. Now, if this were a $50 item, even $55, I would understand. I would. Because $25 for the figure, another $25 or so for the vehicle, because that vehicle, it's pretty hefty. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of play value with it. Those guns come off and they can use them, as hand-wielded weapons and so forth. It's not just one cast mold. Like that's worth a couple bucks. But $80? So you're trying to tell me that these are worth 40 a piece, or he's worth 30 and that's worth 50? Nah. No, go fuck yourself with that. Now, I gotta be honest. Did I order one? Yeah. Just because I have the opportunity and I do want one. But that doesn't mean I won't not cancel the order. I haven't decided yet. I think the price is highway robbery. It's borderline extortion. And from what I understand, that thing sold out quicker and quick. And again, I have to ask. They say it's limited run. You know they're going to reissue the figure later. What is the point of limited run? Why not just do a made-to-order run on these, not a HasLab? Just say, we have so many in stock. When they run out, we'll take the orders. It'll take a few months for them to get made. They're going to try and justify the price by saying, well, we only had so many. Wanted it to be this thing, Is it hypocritical? Sure. Absolutely it is. I'm not saying it's not. I can buy something and not be happy about the means that I bought it or the price that I bought it at. That's something I know I'm allowed to do as a consumer. I can buy something because I want it and say, this price is horrible. I know there's no haggling here. I'll buy it and then I'll spit in your fucking face. Hasbro, not you, Bill. And I know you're laughing. I know you're giving me a hard time. I get it. Jim Lager says, no Serpentor for me, saving Mulan for the Valaverse Action Force vehicle. It's coming. It is. It is. And Epic Badger with a very good point. We'll get him single card before we get a Vintage Scarlet. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And I'm with Joe. For $80, he wants flaming wheels. I don't blame you. It's just, I don't understand why it would be that expensive. Even if it's limited, even $70, I could kind of understand. Okay. 80 is just beyond the pale. It's just because they charge shipping on top of that. If it was including shipping, again, you can warp your brain to make the numbers work out a little bit. But like Steven's saying, it's 100. He's like, greed never. Yeah, it's totally greedy. It's a stupid move. It's an anti-consumer move. And it's anti-my wallet move. And I got to be honest, too. And maybe they see the writing on the wall because they are running out of characters that I give a shit about. Fast. They're very quickly running out of characters I give a shit about. So, and that's part of my justification for saying, you know what, I'm going to order this and hopefully I get it. Because there's a very, very short timeline that exists where I'm not going to be buying classified anymore. I'm not interested in new characters or new designs. I'm not interested in variants. I want the original style characters, and I want most of them. There are some that are coming out that I don't particularly care about at all. I think they look great. I think that they make sense, right? But at the end of the day, I don't need everything. There are ones that I like, and when those come out, I get them. That's how it works. I think a lot of you are the same way with that. And the other side of it is, if collecting regular G.I. Joe were less expensive, I probably would never have gotten into classifieds. But it's like, for the amount of money that's spent, and with all the other 6-inch lines I have, particularly Action Force, to me, it's like, well, it makes sense for me to collect those. But I won't begrudge anyone who decides that they don't want any of these, because I totally understand. All right, I really do. And I also know that even though Bill was joking, like, I do believe it does make me a bit of a hypocrite in a few places. Here's the thing. I can tell you to say that if you don't like what they're doing, you should vote with your wallet. I believe that. That said, I don't like what they're doing. I vote with my wallet on a lot of different things, and I want what I want. That's not going to help them fix it, but it's I'm at a point with toy collecting that is very similar to how I am with politics, which is, I will vote the way I want to vote. I will fight for your right to vote the way you want to vote. But I know in the end, one vote, one wallet isn't always going to make the difference. But I do think that it's important that we talk about just these ideas of like, hey, look, it is completely possible to buy something and be unhappy with the circumstances of your purchase. Just saying. You are going to hear me say something very similar when Mattel Creations Eternia comes out, because I have a sinking feeling that is going to cost way too much. I am still going to buy one if I can. And I hate saying it. Bill says, you looking to get some vintage G.I. Joe 3 3/4 figures? He knows where there are some. Yes. Yes, I am. I'm not looking for a gigantic, huge collection, but I do like those figures a lot. I have a few. I have a handful of them. I'm slowly building up where I can. And I like Jason Garcia says, you can be a hypocrite. It's your money. Good point. I appreciate that. And Steven says, you won't see McFarlane or Valaverse do this. No, McFarlane won't do it because he doesn't make anything anyone actually wants to begin with. So he'll never do it. Valaverse definitely would not do something like this. He's trying very, very hard to make sure it's feasible for them to make it at the quality he wants to make it at a decent price. And I know they're going to wrestle with that. But I trust Bobby Vala's business decisions at this point. He's done everything right so far as I can tell, with the exception of the relatively slow start of the series. Once things got underway, totally down with it, 100%. And Bill, I'm not even bringing that comment up because there's no way. There is no fucking way. None. Because the thing is, Mattel is making it Eternia, not Super 7. That's the only reason that I'm so confident that what you're saying is incorrect. Now, there are other G.I. Joe figures that look pretty darn good, but we have things to discuss in regard to that. So, we've got Bazooka here. It's the same damn sculpt, but it is the original colors, so they're not completely stupid. We all saw the Tigers and said, no, they'll do the regular paint. But they didn't even wait until the Tiger ones were out. So everyone's going to cancel their pre-orders and do this. As well they should. Because, frankly, why would you not do this? Then you have, obviously, God, I forget his damn name off the top of my head. Talked about him for hours on Saturday with patrons. Looks great. Love the accessories. I know it's a digital render. Looking forward to seeing it. Copperhead, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Bjorn. Ken says, I've hesitated on the latest classified pre-order. Serpentor cost enough, but you know you're going to cave. And I think, Ken, you're in the same boat as I am. Like, you can look at something and say, that costs way too much, but I want it anyway. It's kind of like how I feel about, like, pizza. I got to be honest. I grew up on Little Caesars before it became the hot and ready reputation it has now. It was buy one, get one free pizza for around $15. And that was a steal in the 80s. That's the pizza I ate the most as a kid. And I had other pizzas and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, that's what I was used to. So I'm very, when it comes to pizza, nostalgically speaking, like, I'm not used to paying $15 for one pizza, like, or more. Like, it's anathema to me, right? But I'll still do it, and I'll be mad about it because I'm used to pizza being inexpensive and really good. Now it's expensive and not always great. I don't understand this. It's very weird for me. Bill Wifta has a great question. He says, where is the boat that he rides in? Oh, they made that for Fortnite toys. You can get it for $70. I'm not shitting you. It looks almost exactly like his boat, but they made it for Fortnite. And it does fit classified figures. If it were a $50 boat, I could see it. But $70? Ugh. Blech. Bjorn's not a fan of them releasing vehicle drivers without the vehicles. I think no one is a fan of that. I don't think, if you're a fan of that practice, let me know. Let me know if you're happy that they're not releasing vehicles. I think it's stupid myself. They should release the vehicles, man. It's not that hard. So he looks good. And then we got CoverGirl, which looks almost as good as Epic Badger's custom CoverGirl. It's got some cool accessories. It's good sculpt, good looking figure. I don't think there's a thing wrong with her. Looks great. It looks like CoverGirl, which it's weird that I have to say that out loud. Jim Logo says they need to wait until they actually have a prototype before they start. The hype digital renders are lazy. I agree. I agree 100%. I'm happy to see them, but but it's frustrating. Epic Badger says the white timber arrived with Big Bad Toy Stores. So hopefully you have your white timber through Amazon shortly. Nice. Epic says CoverGirl's fine, but her head is your future April O'Neil. Fair enough. That's a good idea. And no Wolverine for her to ride in either. Exactly. No vehicles. No vehicles. I don't know that, sir. I honestly don't know. I don't know. You'd have to scroll up and see what's going on. I see. Yeah, okay, yeah, I got you. I get it. I understand now. It's funny. Yay. But good looking figure. Now we have this crimson bat, which it's just a repaint, guys. That's all it is. It's a nice repaint, and I like it, but it's just a repaint. I got really excited because I saw the damaged head in the photography. I just got my first classified bat last week. Finally got around to getting one. And I didn't know. I didn't look at the package closely enough to know that there's a damaged head in the original bat. So I thought this was something new. It's not. It's still cool. I love the way it looks. I'm probably going to get one at least. It's a cool troop builder. But at the end of the day, it's just a repaint. It's really all there is to it. Falcon with a very square jaw and a suspect shotgun. But some of my community on Patreon made some good comments that saying that his overall outfit looked very old school military issue like Vietnam and early 80s. And I agree. I do agree. It looks very similar to that stuff. And it makes for an interesting look to his character for sure. Sets him apart a little bit. Berets are always problematic in my opinion, but if you have to put one on the character, it looks pretty good, except for the color. The color is too goddamn bright. It's too bright. Jimmy Salzberg was talking us through that the other night. Looks otherwise though, the character looks good. The sculpt is good. I like the weapons, although they probably just ripped that off from Mattel's Jurassic Park Clever Girl figure. Just saying, just a whole thing. Dun, 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 dun. Pow! Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, exactly. It belongs in Jurassic Park. Clever Girl. Show repaint Snake Eyes in red for the outfits. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Clever Badger. Exactly. Joseph Dickinson says, I have bought one classified figure, a clearance Snake Eye Storm Shadow. It's going to be donated to Toys for Tots this Christmas. Not a fan of the line when Action Force is out there. Fair enough. And I said that when I first pre-ordered Action Force, because I wasn't going to go nuts. And then I ordered those. And then I saw them, and I went, When I saw the classifieds, I'm like, nah, I want those too. I want there to be one big happy family. But again, and I want to, for anyone watching this that maybe hasn't seen me before, doesn't know me that well, I only started collecting toys in earnest about a year and a half ago. Okay. So I don't have a lot of toys to fall back on. I don't have G.I. Joes to fall back on. And most of my collection is 6-inch, even if I like to think that's not true. It is true. And as a result, because I'm starting from scratch, in my head, it's easy for me to justify certain purchases that a lot of other collectors would say flat out no way to. For the simple fact that I'm building a collection. I'm not adding onto a collection that's done or that has been going on for even 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It's a year and a half old. So to those of you watching, if it sounds like I make really forgiving decisions with these things, it is partially because I want these things. It's still kind of a new thing, ooh, shiny for me. Please bear that in mind as I go through this stuff. This barbecue, it's a Marauder barbecue. It's a repaint. I think it's shit. I don't want it. See, I can do that. Then you have Outback, looking pretty good. Looks like regular old him. Not a lot to write home about. If you're into this character, he's worth getting. I am 40-60. I'll have a pre-order in, but he'll probably get canceled when he shows up because I didn't have any love for this character when I was a kid. I don't know of any reason I need to get this guy, but it is a good looking figure in the right color scheme, and he is technically a repaint because the Tiger Force came out first. Now, Joe Dickerson, thank you for saying it out loud. Says, Jim, it is clear you are a Hasbro shill based on your love of the classified line. JK, Jurassic Ken. No, I'm just kidding. Kieran Ball says, how many in earnest toys do I earn? Do I own? All of my toys are in earnest toys. It's a state of mind, sir. Right. Ken says, my weird philosophy is that I didn't buy any of the Joe sub teams. I needed the budget to buy Action Force. I get that. I think everybody's down that road. Now, this particular character, there are problems with it. And I want to go over those problems. But I am in on this character for one simple reason. This was the first G.I. Joe I ever owned as a kid. This is rock and roll. Now, he's a surfer. Yes, he is. Which is why I will forgive the wetsuit-looking shirt that he's wearing. That's a problem, but I get it. The other problem, if you look closely at his left hand, there's a tattoo on his hand. Military in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and now would never have let him in with that on there. And it's out of regs, regardless of branch of service, for him to have the tattoo on his hand. Unless G.I. Joe has some special thing with the DOD that you can have ink anywhere the fuck you want. I don't know. Aside from the hand tattoos and a little bit of a wince from me on the shirt, although I understand it, I like this figure a lot. I love the way he looks. Reminds me of when I was a kid. and I'm getting them. Bottom line. We need Ernest Goes to Camp figures. I mean, I'd buy them. Jim Largo says, I need to get Outback to make a Chuck Norris custom for Action Force. You know, I'll wait till he goes on clearance, but I think you're right. I think you're right. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. Toy Connections says, nice figure. Seems to be a version 1 design, mixed version 1, version 2 colors. Yep. Probably going to repaint him entirely version 1 later on, though. Probably right. But I wouldn't mind having both, partially for custom fodder, to be honest. Well, no tats below the sleeve cuff. That's current regs. When I went in, you were allowed. When I went in, you were allowed to have them to a certain degree. So it depends upon when you were in. But yes, at this point, no way. Nothing below the sleeve cuff at all. And definitely no neck or face tats for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. But rock and roll, despite some very, shall we say, fourth wall breaking problems, pretty good looking figure. There's Serpentor, and then there's Shipwreck, complete with toupee. Well, actually, his hat comes off, and you can put the hair on top, so if he's like off duty, kind of a thing. The thing is with Shipwreck, you either love him or you hate him. I always like the character. I have nostalgia for him from the cartoon and in the comic. Yeah, I'm getting him. I'm getting him. And then you have, oh my god, it's not Wetsuit. Is it Wetsuit? I always get the code names messed up. But is this Wetsuit? Is it Wetsuit? Is that his name? Did I get it right? Yes, no, maybe so. But anyway, really cool looking figure. Great accessories. Dead serious look on the face. My only thing with this figure, Torpedo. Thank you. God, thank you. I'm such a fake, guys. I'm fake news. My big thing with this figure is very simple. For those of you that read the comic, he was deadly serious, Seal in the comic. And with that being the case, I would have loved to have seen them included an unmasked head of him. So you could take his head off and put it on a different figure. Like, for example, I'd love to take a Falcon figure and swap heads so he can be in, like, battle dress as a Seal, but we're not getting that. Otherwise, I have no complaints about this. It's a really great figure. Does exactly what you need it to do, and you can play him off as if he's in the cartoon, or if he's in the comic book, or if he just has a really bad case of irritable bowel syndrome. Whatever you want. Cool looking figure. I think it's worth it. And there's Bazooka again. So we're going to step off of that. Double check I haven't missed anything here. Dun, 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 dun. I told you it's going to be a long show. 1 hour, no sign of losing speed. It's true. We got more yet. We still have more. Still more. So, speaking of, I forgot to do this. Here you go. Snake Armor Skeletor. I like it. I think it looks great. Now, I don't know if the armor is all removable. I would presume that it is, but I do not know that for certain. Based upon these pictures, I would assume the helmet is not removable. I think it's all part of the head. But given that the head sculpt inside of that helmet looks pretty damn good, not mad about it. His chest armor definitely is removable. So, depending upon your jam, he might be able to pull some things off. I think it looks great, though. I was never a multiple He-Man and multiple Skeletor kid. I thought I agreed with my parents. Like, why would I get more than one? I have one. But with Origins and as an adult collector, I'm just like, dude, I want all of them. I want all of them. I hate that I'm saying that. And I've said multiple times, I'm retail complete on this line, so of course I'm getting them, but I legitimately want them in the collection. I think it looks wonderful. Now we have more. We got Ratlore, who looks like he's just had way too much pizza. We've got Cobra Khan, he's like going, ooh. We have Boltman, which is a import from the Sunman series. He has a molecular regenerator, nice baby blue tunic, and Snake Armor He-Man, who looks bad ass. Again, not something I thought I'd ever want, but it looks good. It looks really good, and I'm gonna be happy to have him out. Steven says Skeletor dresses Kargan in medieval times. Fair enough. Fair enough. It is definitely something that, for me, it's quite good. Now, I know that some of you collect Masterverse, and I did not leave you behind. I did want to show off one particularly cool character of note from Masterverse, and that would be Roboto. Looks really good. Kira wants to know how many adults I've collected. Well, I am divorced twice, and I have many ex-girlfriends. So I'll get the number to you later. Bill's not a Snake Man fan. Totally understand. Roboto looking pretty damn chic, though. I really like the design they went with on this. And if I were getting into Masterverse, this would be something that I would want in my collection. I keep saying I'm going to get more Masterverse, and every time it actually comes time to do it, I go, So I think I'm rolling back my previous statement about Masterverse, and I do think I'm just going to stick with a classic Skeletor, classic He-Man, call it good. I did want the She-Ra, and I did want the Hordak as well. Maybe that will happen if they go on clearance, but because if I start buying them, I'm just going to keep buying them, and I do not want competing scales of these characters. I just don't see the point. It's very difficult, but Roboto looks amazing. I knew Largo was going to be in on this figure. You are the reason I showed that, because I knew you wanted him. So I want to make sure you knew that he's coming. It's a good-looking figure. And there's other Masterverse stuff that's coming that I think is really cool. For example, Manny Faces, looking like a total badass. Like, he looks great. He looks just like the old version of the figure, except in Masterverse scale. He's got 6 different faces that you can swap. They do have a rotator, but you can switch which faces are in there. He's got the same gun. He's got a little carrying case for his faces. It's a nice figure, man. It's a nice figure. If you like Manny Faces, like this is your one-stop shop. Like, this is fucking cool. I, again, we don't have many faces yet in Origins, do we? Do we? We don't have them, do we? I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. You always hear sticks when you see that figure. Fair enough. Modulok's probably coming. And you want the Stratos for custom fodder. Fair enough. We do have... I probably have them. In fact, I know I have them. I just couldn't... I had a brain for it. I couldn't remember if we had them. I know that I know that I'm caught up. So I just haven't... That's how long they've been in the bin. I haven't seen them. Hadn't seen light of day in months. It's crazy. List wave. Okay. The first wave. All right. Yes, it is the first wave. You're right. I can see the cross sale in my head. And I know I have him. If I look him up, I guarantee you I paid way too much for him. The Lost Wave. Or, so you're saying the second wave. I got you. I can still see the cross sell. I just had it wrong. Jesus Christ, I'm looking like a fucking right idiot today. Whatever, Joe. Whatever, Joe. He's like, wake me when you're done. Well, I actually am done with Mattel and Motu right now. But I wanted to talk a little bit about Hasbro and what they were doing with their PulseCon this weekend. They certainly did a lot of what they announced was pretty good. The Marvel Legends stuff that they announced was okay. I did want to call attention to the fact that if you saw on the last time they did this, they had a Mojo World 3-pack with Dazzler and Longshot and Mojo himself. Now, slightly different paint decos aside, you can get a Mojo for $55 off Amazon right now. He's also up for pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store. Longshot was announced as a single figure, which is also up for pre-order as well. Dazzler, the only difference with the Dazzler in the 3-pack versus the one that you can get for sale, like on sale for like $17 at Big Bad, is that she doesn't have a leather jacket and her sleeves are just a slick turquoise. Otherwise, it's the exact same character. So if you went in that direction and got them all individually, you'd save around $50 versus the 3-pack that they have on Pulse. So I don't understand why they're continuing to undercut their own products. Like if you're going to put out a 3-pack of something and then release to this and that, I don't get why they do that at all. But that said, I'm glad that the option exists, and I definitely want to save that money. So I'm going in that direction. Also, they released a Spiral figure for Marvel Legends, which goes right in line with the Mojoverse. And I'm glad that she's getting a single card reveal, because if she was part of that 3-pack, for example, people would have lost their minds with good reason. So they're making a smart enough choice to make that figure available by herself. So you have the options to get these kind of long shot figures if you're into that character. And otherwise, like Marvel was like, But all the while, this Ghost Rider is going on at the same time, which I have yet to meet anyone that I know, okay, someone I know and trust their opinion, that said that this Ghost Rider HasLab is a good idea. Everyone I know that I talk to about toys, all of you in chat for the most part included, as far as I know, we're all like, what is this shit? And that's going on the whole time. You barely heard any mention of it during PulseCon, and I just checked out. And there's more reveals that are there. I'm not going to sit here and recap their whole show for you, because I know you've seen them already. But if you want to know what I think about them and Transformers reveals, I'm on the fence. The core class reveals with like the Dinobots, I was totally in on that. And it's making me rethink my idea to get larger scale Transformers in any big bad way. For the simple fact that they're doing such a good job filling out the core class line, I don't know where I'm going to go with it. But it's a good problem to have, because the core class, I already have a bunch of them. They look great. I love them. In fact, I have my Ratchet and Wheelie back there. Just came in the other day, and they look great. They don't scale great. Core class, they're kind of like just one scale, more or less. That's one downfall of them, but it's a cool way to get lots of Transformers in a small space. They're fun. There were some other reveals they did. I'm like, meh. I'm not that deeply into Transformers that the obscure characters light my face up. I'm not that guy. But they had a lot. They had much more good than bad from what I saw on the reveals. But the whole time it's just casting this big shadow on the HasLab for Ghost Rider. On top of that, in between every single segment they did, every single one, the host is pimping that stupid make your face in the app shit. which broke during the show. You can't do it. Like, it won't work. And they're like, oh, and just during Hasbro Post Fest, you can get it for $60. Like, it should never be more than $60. You charge me $25 for a full character. Okay? So I'm not getting the full character anymore. You're taking at least one head out, if not two, out of that character. Now you're going to sculpt me one based on a 3D print created from a few pictures that your app does. You want to charge me, $35 for that head? That's a fair price for a single print run. If I were to get a custom sculpt done, custom head, it would cost that much, maybe a bit more. But I don't get to choose anything about the body at all. You're just going to give me the buck from one of your other characters? You want to charge me $80 for that? Fuck you. Like, there's no way. I'm never getting that. Plus, the technology isn't working that great. And they show, like, here, look at my figure. Doesn't really look like you that much. It's a cool idea, and they're close with the technology. But they're overcharging, and they're pushing it too hard. I think it's dumb, personally. Joneser in the house. It's good to see you, man. If you're not subscribed to Motu Joneser, like, check your life choices. He's a good guy. One of our favorites. One of our favorites. But Leonard Cohen getting some heat. Roman Corbett says, I'm sorry, I just can't afford these new modern toys. I couldn't justify $10 for the 3 3/4 inch figure, much less $25 plus for a 6-inch figure. I do buy vintage items for high dollar, but not for modern. I understand that. And that's the thing. Like, I'm almost in a reverse thing where there are some vintage things I'll pay out the ass for. No problem. But I there's certain things in vintage I'm like, I'm not paying that price. Everyone has their limit. Everyone has the things they go after. And that's why it's a community and not a legion of people saying the same thing, wanting the same toys. And Epic Badger says, my 90s toy shelf costs less than a 3D printed head. It's a good point. It's a good point. But I just think the Hasbro can't stop itself from tripping over its own feet at this point. Lots of things are doing good, and yet there's still baffling decisions out there. Like, Serpentor looks amazing, but he's priced 30% higher than he should be. The Mojo 3-pack they put out last year, at least 30% higher than it should be on price. And they just released a bunch of pre-orders for single figures that undercut the entire thing. Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? And Gojatron backing me up says, there was no Transformers that I felt compelled to purchase from the reveals, not one. And that's a die-hard Transformers fan who at one time had the entire run up to that point. So, must not just be me. Wilhelm says, there was a time when modern was good for people that didn't want to pay high price for vintage. Now, not so much. I agree. Joe Dickerson, the expert on 3D printing, says 3D photogrammetry requires massive processing power to do it right, either local or in the cloud, and Hasbro ain't going to pay for the processing power to do it right. They are cheap. I agree, which is why I'm not paying for them goddamn toys. But thank you for backing it up. Appreciate you. Epic Banner says Cobra Viper 3-pack for people who missed out is on the Target. On the Target Vipers, nice $90. Not nice, ups and downs. Yeah, you're paying $30 per figure instead of $25. Pain in the ass, in my opinion. However, if you want a one and done troop build pack, you could do a hell of a lot worse. Johnny says, yeah, it's gone the reverse as retro blasting has mentioned a few times. I agree. It's crazy where prices are going. Bjorn says, people who get the custom Hasbro faces are just going to get their faces with PS2 graphics. You're not far off. Like, some of them look pretty good, others look horrendous. Some of them have weird head scaling problems, right? Um, but I'm not getting it. I'm not interested. Goji, no, I did not actually bring that up because I didn't get through everything. I barely talked about Marvel Legends, actually. But he said, did I talk about the 3 3/4 inch Ghost Rider? Thank you for reminding me about that. So they released a 3 3/4 inch Ghost Rider. It's Johnny Blaze on a bike for like 30, 35 bucks, I think. Less than that, probably. They can do that. And that series that scales with nothing and has shit articulation. But when they put it out in the more popular version of the line, they put out a car that no one asked for. I don't get it. But when people complain about Ghost Rider HasLab, they're going to, well, we did the bike in 3 3/4 inch. I don't understand the decisions that they're making. It's a great looking toy. I'm glad it exists, and I'm glad you guys are going to be able to get it. For those of us that have the larger scale, we should be able to get that too. I'm just saying. Karen Ball's got to go. You take care, sir. Get some rest. Love your face. Glad to see you here as always, pal. We are kind of getting to that point where Q&A would be happening anyway. So I'll count Gojatron as the first question, asking me how I feel about the 3 3/4 inch Ghost Rider. I think it looks great. I'm glad he's here, but I don't understand. Why wouldn't you just make 2 of them? 1 in the 6 inch, 1 in 3 3/4 inch, and call it good. Johnny Sorensen says they scrapped the old Marvel articulated small line to make a fake Kenner one that don't bend me in line to sell cardboard. Yeah, I gotcha. That's exactly what it is. They want you to just they're hoping that you view these Marvel figures the way people view the reaction figures. Where in reality, we want to be able to take the figure out and have fun with it most of the time. I want to do one or the other. Joner says that Ghost Rider is popular, will sell all by himself. He does. He is. But when you compare what they're doing with the HasLab to that 3 3/4 Ghost Rider with the motorcycle, it's like, what? Heh? I don't get it. Jimmy Salzberg in the hizzy, folks. Hizzy. That's real fair. No, I'm not starting over. Gojatron says it reminds me of the Fleetwood Ghost Rider that I had from the 70s. It's worth several $1,000s today. Ooh. Interesting. Evan Badger says, I saw a Wayne Tower, 3 3/4 inch scale, 3-figure set. Does it really only come with a column, fence, and a rock? What line is this from? I haven't heard about this. There's the Batcave one from The Batman, which was a little bit different. But I didn't even know that was a thing. But it sounds like something people would pull off. That's for sure. Joseph Dickerson also has to have the last 3 parts to design and print for the Rebel Blockade Runner, which was revealed on this show, and want to get this beast done by the weekend. 2 months behind schedule because life happens. Have fun. No, you have fun, sir. And thank you for the inadvertent update to the Blockade Runner. I can't wait to see the final thing. Maybe when you're done, we'll have you on to show it off if you want. Let me know. You sent me an image on Discord. Let me see. What in the wide world of sports is this? Okay. So I'm going to show this, guys, because I don't know what the hell this is. What? You got your column. You got your barrier, I guess, and a rock on cardboard with these figures. Oh, pardon me, there's 3 crates that look like pizza boxes. Says they call it Wayne Manor, but just some background scatter pieces. Exactly. Exactly. Joe Dick is saying he might like to come back on and reveal. Awesome. We'll look forward to seeing that. I don't get this. I think it's dumb, but I understand why someone might. I like the sculpts on the figures, but the rest of it makes no sense. Ugh. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Where are the bones? I don't know. I don't know where they are. Sucks that that Lex figure was super hard to find single because it's the only way they can get to him. Yep. Joneser says that Wayne Manor is feeling the recession as well. It's a good point. Bill says, I made one for superpowers using 2 Ultra-Rama displays. Aha. Good night, Ben Stutley, as well. Jim Largo says, got the new Star Trek Motion Picture Director's Cut movie on tonight. Dude, it's so good. I can't wait to hear what you think about it. Epic Badger asks me if I'm going to buy the Spider-Man dinosaur. Not at the price they're selling it for. For what it is, for the articulation they have on it, and it being a factory-made toy, no. Not at that price. No. I might know someone who can sculpt it and make it look better. So no. No. I'm not getting him. Not. I am not. I did not. All right. So, all of that said, I hope that it. Woman Cardboard says, just got back from a CAD conference. Forum Labs was there showing off their Hasbro figureheads. Neat idea. Not worth $80. Looks like they might just have different heads already designed. That's what it looks like to me, too. That's a good point. They just pick the head that might look like yours. Not sure of that, but it does look like that. That makes sense to me. Yes, it is streaming on Paramount Plus, Bill Wifta. Paramount Plus, you can watch it. All right. So, Will is getting the Spider-Man dinosaur. Cool. And I know why, because you already have Venom and Carnage. I understand. I understand. No one says the film noir Spider-Man is going for around $80 at Toys R Us. What? What? From what manufacturer? That's crazy. It's crazy. So, look, guys, I've had a great time. We're almost at an hour and a half. I can only take so much Hasbro sucks energy out of my face. But I appreciate you. He says, that's Canadian. That's fair. That's not real money. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Gotcha. All right, folks. So, he says, if someone else made one, to go for it. Fair enough. Good to know. Appreciate you guys. I love you. We will see you next week at the latest. Until then, good night.